Hi everyone, I'm Chef Marcy and this is Marcy's Meal Deals.
Sup, I'm Lunar. I go by he, they pronouns.
Today we're doing something a little different. We're doing a healthy version of a fall flavored dessert. We're going to do an apple streusel cake that is keto friendly and gluten free, and it also uses whole grain oat flour. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Uses whole grain oat flour instead of all-purpose flour, so it's a little bit healthier. It uses brown sugar substitute, so there's no sugar in it. So it's just a little bit healthier all around. I went with apples this time as opposed to pumpkin spice, even though it's pumpkin spice season, just because I was inspired by everybody that's going apple picking right now. The local orchards are open for apple picking, so if you get a chance, get out, pick some apples, and try this recipe. If you do, let me know how it turns out. So we're going to start by mixing our wet ingredients. There's a lot of ingredients to this. I hope I remember all the measurements and everything. If not, they will be written in the intro before the video starts, so at least that will be right, even if I get it a little mixed up in here. So for our wet ingredients, we are going to start with 2/3 cups of buttermilk, 2 eggs, a 1/3 cup of canola oil. Oopsie, dripped a little bit in our other bowl there. That's all right.
Yeah, it's going to be mixed together anyway.
Yep. 2/3 cup of brown sugar substitute.
Won't this go in the dryer?
Nope, because sugar melts. So that goes in with our wet
It won't
ingredients.
come out.
Just give it a little tap on the bottom.
Or not.
Or a little squeeze. And that's why we weren't made for it. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that's all. So we're gonna put our mixer in. You're gonna let me do this part?
Yeah.
You're always gonna start your mixer on low. Come on, you gotta start the mixer. There we go. So you get it started. Try and break up that lump of brown sugar. It's a little stickier than traditional brown sugar, but it smells really good. It smells like it's got a lot of molasses in it. That's my favorite part. Alright, so we got it combined. We're going to turn it up to medium. You can see Luna's got a little bit of a noisy too. Mix that all together until it's well combined. Get all those lumps of brown sugar out. Do it. Yeah, this bowl's not the best balance, so we're just gonna set that on the side there like that. Now, in our other bowl, we are gonna sift together. I'm gonna do this part. Okay. 1 2/3 cup of our whole oat flour. Now, the reason we're gonna sift this is because we're gonna make sure we don't have any hard lumps of anything in any of our dry ingredients. If you're lucky and you've got one of those old sifters with a hand crank or a turning crank left over from your grandma or your mom, I envy you. I would love to have one of those, but I don't, so I get to use the old standby with the sieve here. We're just going to help it through with a little spatula for time's sake. Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, some of it's spilling over the side. Got to be careful. We're getting there. We're getting there. But this is to make sure there's nothing hiding in our flour. Make sure there's no crystallized lumps of sugar or baking soda or baking powder, which we're going to add here in a minute. And just so we have a nice uniform mix of our dry ingredients. Now in this little cuppy here, I have, let's hope I get this, remember this correctly, 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a half teaspoon each of baking soda, cinnamon, salt, and an 1/8 teaspoon of ginger.
You didn't even tell me what it was.
I know, I was just trying to see if I could remember. And see, you can see in here a little bit, there's some little beads left over from the baking soda and the baking powder. I'm going to try to sift through what'll go through easily. I'm not going to force it through though. But we don't want those little bits floating around in our cake later, because they make for an unpleasant taste and an unpleasant texture. So that's why we sift those things out. So we're just going to put those aside. Now we're just going to slowly, you want to come over here, Lunar, and just slowly add this in while I turn the mixer back on, or you don't think, no? Okay. And we're just going to slowly add this in. Turn my speed back down a little bit. Just a little bit at a time so we don't overwhelm our mixture. As we get that incorporated a little bit at a time. I probably should have put a wet towel under my bowl so it doesn't spin on me, but it's not doing too bad. That is a little trick. It does work, or if you've got a little slip mat of some sort you put under there. That helps too. Spatula straight down the sides of our bowl. This time I am spinning it with the spatula on purpose. We've got a nice smooth batter, even consistency, and we're just going to fold in. Can you give me the apples?
Can I put them on?
Just a second, I'm going to show them off. Show off our beautiful apples. 2 cups of grated apples. That's 2 to 4 apples depending on how big your apples are. Yes, you can put them in. And we're just going to fold those in with the spatula because we don't want to break them up any more than they already are. Now the reason we grated them instead of chopping them is because it's going to allow them to melt into our batter a little bit more and become more part of the cake. We used Honeycrisp apples. Honeycrisp or Gala are good for this recipe. You want something crisp and sweet. Alright. And then we're going to put those into a 9-inch springform pan that we have greased and floured. If you've got parchment paper, you can line it with parchment paper on the bottom to help it release even better. Just pour that in. Smooth that out into the pan. Would you please put these over in the sink?
I'm gonna take out the thing there.
It's alright, we'll take care of it.
No.
And bring me the small metal bowl over there in the strainer, please. Thank you. Because now we get to make our streusel. Oh, need a paper towel to dry that out. Need a dry bowl to make our streusel topping. For the streusel topping, we need 3 tablespoons of oats, 2 tablespoons of pecans, a tablespoon of, again, of the brown sugar substitute. And this is 1.5 tablespoons of grated butter. It's a little easier to grate the butter if you freeze it first. Got it? There you go. Then we're just gonna use our whisk to mash that all together.
Oh, I didn't know my just turned it
There you go. Until it all clumps together, kind of. I'm just watching you, because that's my job. While he's working on that, I've got our oven preheated to 350 degrees, ready for our cake. How's that going?
It's something.
It's something. Well, it's supposed to be like a crumbly topping. We want to get all the sugar and the butter kind of mixed together. Don't stir it.
It's getting off the sides.
Alright, use the, oh, where's the fork?
There ain't a fork.
What do you do with the fork?
What fork?
The fork that was in the butter. Oh, there it is, okay. Use that to get the stuff out of the middle of the whisk. There you go. Actually, that looks pretty good. So we're just going to take that. And sprinkle that on the top of our cake. I really love the smell of this brown sugar stuff. Now, of course, you don't have to make this keto or gluten-free. You could always use whole wheat flour and regular brown sugar to make all of this. But, you know, here at Meal Deals, we do try to make things a little healthier and try to be sensitive of other diets. So that's why, you know, I tried to find something I could substitute some of these ingredients for. Plus, with myself and Emily being on the insulin resistance diet, these are the kind of foods that we need to eat. So this is what the top of our cake looks like. I don't want to tip it too much. I don't know if you can see it. And we're going to put that in the oven. It's going to take about 45 minutes or so until a wooden skewer comes out with just a few crumbs on it. And then we'll make our yogurt cream to go on top and dig in. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, our cake is baked. It took about 45 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. We've let it cool for about 10-15 minutes, and now we're going to make our yogurt cream to go on top. First, we're going to take our cake out of the springform pan. Now, this is one of those cakes that you really need a springform pan to make it work, unless you're going to keep it in the pan to serve it. But here's what it looks like. Excuse me, Lunar. All yummy and baked.
How'd you do that?
That's what a springform pan does. This is got a spring in it, and you can pop it out, so the bottom pops out. Pretty cool, huh? To make our yogurt cream sauce, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a half of cup of plain yogurt and put it in the bowl. Here's a spatula to
Kind of just popped out.
most of it. Yeah, let's get the rest of it out there too.
What?
Nothing. I'm just admiring your spatularing skills.
Sure.
3 tablespoons of heavy cream.
Extremely heavy, apparently.
Yep.
I think it started to freeze in the bottom.
A little bit, yeah. And then a tablespoon of our brown sugar substitute.
Do you want me to stir it with this?
Nope, we're gonna use the mixer. And then you're just gonna use the mixer until soft peaks form. So basically we're gonna make whipped cream. Okay, come on. There we go. Alright, soft peaks. And we're just going to take that. Oops, I forgot to get a knife. Excuse me. Let's see. Where's my good value? We're just going to serve that over our warm cake. Where you want to get a plate? One for me, and one for Emily when they're ready. There we go. Cake's still warm, but that's okay. That's what we want. Just get a dollop of our cream here. Does that smell good?
Yeah.
Well, there's one for you. Just take a fork.
Yeah, I'll have it.
Ah. Let's try this again.
You do that.
I need a pie server.
Yeah, you do. So spread with the one.
I suppose we could make it look really fancy and sprinkle a little cinnamon on top, but
Ooh, I want to do that with mine. Cinnamon.
just a second. All right, I guess we're gonna fancy it up and sprinkle a little cinnamon on
I have
it.
another piece.
Just to be very careful, it comes out very quickly. Oh, it's good. Perfect.
Voila.
Good job.
It looks wonky, but whatever. Hi, Bobby. Ignore that.
All right, there we are. Our apple strudel crumb cake for our first meal deals dessert. Hope you enjoy it. Let us know how it comes out.